Hello everyone, in this video we are going to talk about slope. So imagine you are reading a book. You read 5 pages per hour. How many pages will you read after 2 hours? Well, if we're reading 5 pages per hour, after 2 hours we would read 10 pages. After 3 hours, well, we will read another 5 pages, so it'll be 15 pages. After 4 hours, we would have read 20 pages. And after 5, we would have read 25 pages. Now, the amount of pages that you are reading per hour, that is what we call our slope, our rate of change. Now, another way we could have found out how many pages we would have read is by using a graph. Here, our x is our independent variable, and our y is our dependent variable. As x increases, which is the number of hours, y also increases, which is the number of pages. The more hours pass by, the more pages we read. So after 1 hour, we read 5 pages. After 2 hours, we read 10. 3, we read 15. 4, we read 20. And 5, we read 25. That is what we call our slope. That rate at which we are changing, at which we are either increasing or decreasing. Now, there are 3 types of slopes. There are positive slopes, negative slopes, and there is a zero slope, which is basically just when there is no change, and a number for nothing is 0. Now, a positive slope is when we are increasing. For example, when we are reading a book, the more hours that pass, the more pages that we read. Therefore, we have a positive slope. In a graph, a positive slope would look like a line that goes upward from left to right. When we are reading a graph, we have to think of it as we're reading a book. We always go from the left of the graph to the right, and we follow wherever that line is going. Now, a negative slope is when the line goes downward from left to right. An example of this would be when you're shopping. The more clothes that you buy, the less money that you have. Therefore, the amount of money that you have is decreasing, which means that you have a negative slope, a negative rate of change. So on the graph, that's going to be a line that goes downward from left to right. And then a zero slope is when it just doesn't change, when you don't read any pages, and when you just don't spend any money. So now when we're given a graph, we are going to sometimes solve for slope. Now the way that we find slope when given a line on a graph is that we do the rise over the run, which we just count. How many times did the line go up, and how many times did it go to the right or to the left, depending if it's positive or negative. So the rise is a change in y, and the run is a change in x. Let's look at this line here. So we need to identify 2 points. We identified a point right here and a point right here. I am now going to count how many times did I go up from one point to the next. I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that means that my rise will be 7. Now let's see our run. Now we need to see how many times did it go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So therefore my run is 8. And if my slope is rise over run, that means that my slope must be 7 over 8. Let's try this one out. So now here, we are going to have a negative slope. Because if I look at this graph from left to right, I see that my line is going down. So instead of counting the rise, we're going to count how many times it went down instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that means it went down 6. And then it went to the right 1, 2, 3 times over 3. And keep in mind that it's negative. So we must write this as negative 6 over 3. And 6 divided by 3 could just be simplified to negative 2. Therefore, our slope, which we're going to label m, is going to equal to negative 2. This graph is going up, which means that it's going to be positive. Let's count how many times it rises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. And the run, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So that means that this is going to be 8 over 4, which could just be simplified to 2. This graph is going up as well. So this is going to be positive. It rises 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and it runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So I would write this as 4 over 6, which I could simplify this by dividing both the top and the bottom by 2, and I would get 2 over 3. Let's confirm. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. And here I have another point. And that's it.